Bleeding so much during your matches. Let's talk about the Texas death match with you and Hangman Adam Page. This was number 4 for you guys. I feel like the chemistry between the two of you is incredible. You guys have had some really great matches. However, the Texas death match definitely made me feel a little bit sick to my stomach. The fork to the forehead of Hangman while you had him in that reverse triangle.
Yeah.
um it was upsetting. I didn't like it. It made my stomach turn.
No,
Talk to me about blood in a match and your affections
that
for it.
makes me very happy that it was upsetting to you
Yeah, it was.
because yeah, I loved everything with the Hangman stuff. Uh, I like to experiment with things. I'm not
Sexually.
that too. I don't I give zero fucks about convention or the way things are supposed to be done or formulas or whatever. I'm trying to explore new ways of doing things. People have like a certain idea in their head of like what a great match is. It starts out slow and it builds, and then we have a bunch of false finishes or whatever. Like, why can't you do a great match in 3 minutes? What if you could? I don't know. Never been done before. That was the whole idea behind Anarchy in the Arena. They wanted to do a stadium stampede again. And I was like, I ain't doing that. That's how the conversation started anyway. It's like I was like, I
Yeah.
ain't doing that. Whatever. But okay, well, if I was gonna do it, I would do it once in one take live in front of the whole crowd. And that was Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at things to try to go, okay, well, was anybody ever done it like this? And like simple stuff, I'm not Vikingo. I'm not like, has anybody ever done a triple backflip? No,
That
I'm
is
just like,
nuts. He literally moves like a person with extra like limbs or something. It's
why does every
wild.
match have to have the same formula and so forth? Like, for instance, like our match in LA, instead of
Your match in LA was right when he came back, right?
yeah, and I was like, what, instead of like a typical formula that Bills was like, I kind of with the kind of blueprint I used in my mind was the first Cody Garbrandt TJ Dillashaw fight. Very
Okay.
heated. And they start out, and it's very short. It's like a round and a half. They start out, they're throwing heat. Cody nails him at the end of the round, rocks him. Seems like if the clock stopped, the round kind of seemed like it saved TJ. He kind of wobbled over to his corner. Round starts again. They go back at it. TJ wallops him with like a head kick. Now he's kind of rocked. And then 30 seconds later, rocks him again, and it's over. So it went way hard to the left, way hard to the right. And that was it. There was no like up and down and this and that. It
Yeah.
was just like foot to the gas pedal. Here we go. We're throwing bombs. We're going 100% right from the get go. Way hard to the right. Steering wheel way hard to the left. It's over.
Mhm.
That's what I wanted to do there. I was like, I'm going to whoop your like get on him from the beginning, put him in major peril. And then when it turns around, it just goes all the way through and boom, buckshot. I'm fucking done. Like it's just like over, and that's what we did
Yeah.
and accomplished. And
Yeah.
I was very, I mean, yeah, I was very pleased with that. And
Do you draw more inspiration from MMA these days than you kind of do from pro wrestling in terms of building your matches?
what I get from it more so than anything is storytelling because
They do a really great job.
yeah, I'm not talking about like, oh, somebody broke into somebody's house and ran their threw their belt in the river
Yeah.
or whatever, like storytelling is like striker versus grappler, veteran versus rookie,
Yeah.
uh, simple stuff, and see how those stories play out because like every fight has a story.
Yeah.
So and so got to the ground and dominated on the ground. or so and so was doing really good for 4 rounds, and then like Leon Edwards,
Yeah. Yeah.
last minute Hail Mary head kick, it's over. That was the story. Like if you ask, like, what happened in that? Well, I'd say the story. He was winning for 4 rounds, and then right at the last second, head kick.
Yeah.
It's not specific to MMA, like or even just combat sports. Like every football game
Yeah, of course.
has a story.
Yeah.
I'm not a football expert or anything, but hey, what happened to the Bengals game last night? Well, they got out to a really big lead, and then the other team chipped away at it, and then they lost in the fourth quarter. That was the story.
Yeah.
Or it was a defensive struggle, very low scoring game. Or it was a very high scoring game, 49-49. It was just touchdowns everywhere. Or it was so such team.
Story, yeah. Story, always a theme.
Running game, control the clock. That was the story. So,
yeah.
Every match has a story. The story can be whatever you want it to be. There are no rules. People talk about psychology and storytelling and stuff. Sometimes they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. The story can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling can be anything. There's no rules.
And like during your time in WWE versus
so for example, definitely don't want to fucking talk about WWE.
No, I was just gonna ask you about the storytelling and how people can fall into more like formulaic patterns.
They have
that's what I was gonna
WWE
say.
has a very perfect example. Like they have people talk about style, right? When I'm talking about styles, I'm not talking about like moves, because in 2023, everybody does modern moves influenced from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Every single WWE match, will have like lucha libre moves and stuff, like head scissors and all this, everybody does like modern moves, but when I think of style, I think more of like pacing and psychology and timing and so forth. Japanese style, or like WWE has a very specific style of match, no matter who's in the ring. And I like to just kind of not really have a big game plan sometimes and just like see what happens. And I'm like,
does that make your opponents stressed out?
Yeah, a lot of the time sometimes. So I like to, my character kind of, and my real personality and the way I like to wrestle and the way I do things, and just like me as a person, like I said earlier, very foot to the gas pedal. So for me, I'm not trying to waste a bunch of time. I'm like, bell rings, let's fucking go. And foot to the gas pedal until somebody runs off the road.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like stretch stuff out really, really long. Mm-hmm. It's just like, it doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's, that's kind of like, I've been kind of developing my own new style. Like, I'm not saying I invented a style, but I've just kind of been coming up with my proprietary blend.
Okay.
And Texas Deathmatch is a perfect example. We didn't go out there to we didn't adhere to like a formula. And those like last man standing matches typically can have like big long, they can be kind of slow paced because they do big stunt bumps, and then everybody just lays there for 9 seconds. Like, what we got going with these last man standing matches, not last man standing, what we have going in AEW with these Texas death matches is a really cool thing, I think, because they're really fast paced.
Yeah.
From it started with me and Lance in Japan, because right before I went out to challenge him, was this going to be like a no DQ match?
Right.
And I asked him and Gato, just because Lance is from Texas. I was like, let's just give it a different name, something cool. I was like, what if I say Texas Death Match? And Gato goes, oh, I like. So I go out and I just said Texas Death Match. And we didn't even know what the rules were going to be. So like I was, then after that, then I went and looked up like the old school Texas Death Match rules. And it's like you get a fall and then the 10 count starts, which could be very drawn.
Yeah.
Out. So what me and Lance decided on was basically just knockout or submission and standing 10 count, right? So it was kind of like, which was pretty unique for Japan because they don't do those. And the crowd really got with it, like 9, 8, or 7, 8,
Yeah.
So that was, me and Lance did that in Japan. And then Tony had the idea to have a big night for Lance in Texas Deathmatch 2 with me and Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Another badass match, same thing, really, really fast paced, not like drawn out, big, long, slow 10 counts all the time. And then Cole did one with Lance, or not Cole, Cowboy did one with Lance, and he did one with Cole. And then me and Hangman did one. So I feel like that's an AEW staple match now. That's pretty cool. And with those matches, like I love the feeling of like making people where they genuinely are shocked or don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I get it. It stresses me out though.
And sometimes people go out there and they have a great match and the crowd loves it and they're there with the chants and they're there with the booing and the yaying and the cheering all at the right times. And the fans, they're going along for the ride, but they can almost like
they anticipate.
They've rode this roller coaster 2 or 3 times, and there's a great time, but nothing was truly shocking.
Yeah.
In the Texas Death Match with Hangman, nobody had any idea what was going to happen at any second. Like, just kept taking it was more of like this car is completely out of control and off the road and it's just going all over the place. Like, for example, I brought out a brick and smashed his hand with it.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
But I didn't like bring the brick out and then do a bunch of hoopla and this. Like, there was no brick in the ring, and just 1 second, there's no brick in the ring. I just rolled out, grabbed the brick, smashed his hand, like really quickly, and didn't give anybody any time to register. Like, oh, he's got a brick. What's he gonna do? Like, just all right. What's going on next? Is that a brick? Oh my! What the fuck? Like, I wanted it to happen so fast that their brain couldn't even register it. So they're like,
they have to pay attention. It makes people pay attention.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So I couldn't have been cool. I couldn't have been any or happy with that. And I was thinking like the finish, I was like, man, I feel like
it's really interesting.
I feel like they're gonna go nuts if I tap out. So I wanted to make sure that like submissions were legal and fans understood that. And I was a little scared that they would be waiting on the 10 count and like wouldn't notice that I submitted.
Right.
But they were pretty clear about the rules. So I just had a feeling like I feel like they're gonna go fucking nuts if I tap out. Because that's the last finish they would expect.